Hi everyone and welcome to this week's WARNO Dev Blog, or more of a smaller dev update. Before we get into it, I would like to remind everyone that this weekend there are going to be charity events supporting Action Against Hunger, something we can all get behind. This is going to take the form of Steel Division 2 events on Saturday, hosted by SD League, and some other streamers, including myself, may get involved in that, though I'm not big on SD2, as you will know. And then on Sunday we will be having WARNO related events, including some games with some of the dev team from UGen themselves. And you can tune into that on my channel, SD League on Twitch, Vulcan HD Gaming, or Yogdog also on Twitch. The event as a whole is being hosted by SD League, so please do come along, and I'll give a shout out to them in the description below with a link to their Twitch. On to our small dev update, as they put it. So they hope we are all well. They are busy preparing the way for the next milestone learners, and as such today's blog post focuses on some general quality of life improvements coming to WARNO. The important housekeeping note is that UGen will be having some much needed holidays next week. Their offices will be closed on Thursday the 19th and Friday the 20th of May, so there will be no blog post those days next week. Once they return, they will reveal all the good stuff to be brought in with LANers. With that nice message from them, let's move on to the actual content. They're keen on models, they say, and they're continuously updating and implementing new or revised unit models. Their excellent 3D artists are hard at work, for instance, on this new MiG-25. There is more though. The designers are likewise perfecting the towed weapons animations. Howitzers are one type of unit, but they are not alone in WARNO. We will also feature mortars, towed SAM launchers such as the Hawk, and even old school anti-tank guns firing both rounds and ATGMs. You can guess which those are. Each of these requires its own special animation set, and that's what's taking so long with these units by the looks of it. Next up is unit pricing. The cost of things is a non-stop discussion, but fear not, they are actively tracking all community feedback on units being too cheap or too pricey when considering their performance. And with every batch of units they add to WARNO, some new additions might interfere with the parameters of the original pricing system, meaning that it will require some back and forth before they find the best prices. They note that as such they compare our feedback with the intricate calculation systems that they use internally, which are constantly refined to better reflect the balance they intend in the games. Now, they provided this lovely image to give an example of all of the stuff they go through, but they do thankfully tell us a little bit more. They say they simulate each type of weapon, and when they do that they consider the characteristics the team thinks are most relevant to the scale of the game. For example, a Grunt's assault rifle, they simulate the firing of a salvo, not each bullet. On the other hand, for a weapon such as an autocannon, they simulate each individual shell. Depending on what they simulate, we add variables and parameters that define the weapon's power. For ATGMs, for example, the weapon's characteristics are its power, penetration value, range, accuracy, speed, stabilization quality, and type of guidance. And they have developed variables for each type of weapon. This lets us check if a weapon is properly configured or not, and gives us an objective indicator of the combat power and value of the weapon. This significantly helps when adjusting prices. However, keep in mind that we are planning a major overhaul of pricing in the near future. This will happen from category to category. They actually say here starting very soon with self-propelled anti-aircraft guns and planes before moving on to main battle tanks. However, I would just like to note that we've already had adjustments for anti-aircraft guns and planes, so I think this was just written a little bit before that release. And obviously they've forgotten to amend it. The next big topic is forward deployment, something we've been discussing in various videos in the last couple of weeks. UGen say that getting the jump on your opponent is fun, but we are taking into account the latest community feedback on forward deployment mechanics. Comments mention that this deployment option has more and more or too much influence on the course of a game, and players seem particularly eager to use the new Panzer Grenadiers and MSD thanks to the addition of airborne troops. We have been discussing this internally, and we agree that forward deployment poses some issues. In our opinion, the problem is not so much the new airborne units, but rather the current roster of recon units. These are present in every deck and usually mobile and armed, and are perfect for rushing forward from the forward deployment line. Our airborne units, be it paratroopers or air assault chopper-borne squads, we foresee as less of an issue. after being back on the ground, they are generally more static or only possess very light transports. As such, they are planning to rebalance recon units either through more limited forward deployment of their own, different from the airborne troops, price or card availability, or a combination of all of the above measures. To you, Jen, in response to that, I would say the problem didn't really exist before you added the forward deployment units. The recon units as they were seemed to kind of work reasonably well and balance out between all the factions obviously having that option. That said, however, I will certainly give you, Jen, the benefit of the doubt to make any adjustments and see where it gets us to, as there is always the option of simply removing this in the future. And that is it for this week. That is the short and sweet dev update, they called it, rather than a full dev blog. Thanks very much for tuning in. Again, a reminder of the charity events this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Please do come along for those. I will link details for that down below. There are 2 tournaments, which there are possibly even still slots open for. You can join in for that. It's for charity. It's for fun. Please do come along. Please do support the charity if you can. If not, just come along, sit, watch. It'll attract more people. Do your bit for Action Against Hunger. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all this weekend.